What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle. My name is Splattercat. We're here with the next episode of Sunless Sea. I cut out the sailing, but we're in Geidersmorn. That was our next destination after the Canet. And so here we are in Geidersmorn. I don't know what we're going to do. I mean, I guess we can actually go check out the Morn. And so we've already done that. So we've got a patriotic dispute between Chelonet hunters and Canet privateers. We can side with the Kaganians or the Chelonians. I'm going to go with the Kaganians because I want another pewter horsehead because it gets rid of terror, and I like that. And so there it is. The Chelonians are a fierce crew, but with your assistance, the Kaganians send them running. The privateer lieutenant still wears the red and gold uniform of the Canet Navy, although his epaulettes are gone and you doubt he's entitled to it. He clasps your hand. Thank you. Show this sign if you ever come to Khan's heart. He drops a pewter horsehead talisman into your hand. You'll find it a warmer welcome. Good. And so we got ourselves... I don't need help knowing what to do. I know what I'm doing. Let's see, a drinking den by the dock cradles is a good place for your crew to find companionship and let off steam, but although... Okay, so let's go ahead. Conversation quiets as the drinkers look around. You've been here for too long and you're attracting the wrong kind of attention. It's time to move on. Okay, apparently it's because I got in a fist fight like the second I pulled into port. Can I sell anything here? Like parabola linen or anything? No, we can't sell any parabola linen. Alright. So where do we want to go next? Let's go ahead and chart out our next little journey. I'm thinking I'm going to turn this into like a long run. We'll go up north. We'll go around the Chapel of Lights, come back down, maybe kill a couple more lifebergs over here. Either way, it lands me in the spot where I want to be, which is killing lifebergs. So let's go up to Port Cecil, and we'll see what's on offer right there. I mean, I haven't done a lot of the events that are out on the eastern edge of the frontier, simply because it's a long trip to get out here. You just find yourself never getting out this way because it takes a lot of effort to get yourself out here each time. We should be able to skip to Maloo all the way through these little, or you skip to your Loo. I don't care whose Loo we skip to. Either one. I mean, whichever one you're more comfortable with. If your Loo has one of those little plushy seats, then we'll probably skip to yours because those plushy seats are awesome on the Batatax. But I don't have the squishy seats. That's why it's kind of a letdown for me. I think I should probably go over to Regal Complexus. And we'll follow Regal Complexus around. Even though it'll take us a little bit longer. We have so much fuel and whatever that... I'm not that concerned about it. Please don't run into the rocks, though. I was hoping we would find some sharks down there so that we could fight with them, but I think we weren't far enough south. Typically, you tend to find the sharks when you're out down here, but I didn't see any. Didn't see any, which is disappointing because those hunting trophies would have really helped us out. Allow us to get rid of some of our terror. I think 10 at a time, in fact. I may go down there and hunt sharks anyways, just to see what happens. We'll go up to Arent's Gyrus, or Gyrus, and then we'll take a swift jaunt across right up here to the east once we get to it. Port Cecil, I don't remember, Port Cecil, or however you want to say it. I've heard it said both ways. Cecil, Cecil, whatever. The only thing I haven't heard is Keekle. Keekle is not a thing. But I don't really know what they have here. We take a look at the shops. They've got provisioners that are pretty expensive. You can speak to the ferret. Today your ferret seems a little livelier. A cheerful nip. The ferret raises its head and snaps at your hand. It moves so slow that you can't imagine it hoped to bite you properly. It sets its head at an angle. The angle says, "Yes, I know how you taste." I didn't even know you could do that. The ferret rises from its pillow and moves to explore the cabin. It moves like a meandering stream of treacle. It noses at furniture, disdains boots. It returns to its pillow. There is nothing, its expression says. Nothing at all. Nothing for me here. He's a nihilist. Great, we get the world's only nihilist ferret. That's lovely. We have so many things. And the restful nights do stack, but you have to have the lodge. I don't know if I mentioned that before, but you do need that. We've got a couple of secrets hanging out. Let's continue to raise our mirrors so that if we end up... Oop, I don't want to increase my veils. No thank you. I want mirrors to get at least up to like 45. And then once mirror's a little higher, we'll start working on veils so that all of our combat skills are a little bit better. Let's see. Our page's quality gives us a 30% chance of winning at chess. Chess is popular in the principles. The port is full of exiles, drunk, and washed-up Z-traders. They all play often obsessively. Be careful. The chess pieces are carved from scintillac. Here in the principles, that can be very dangerous. I guess we'll gather intelligence first. So we got our port report. We'll go to the coral knoll around Port Cecil. A light grows from the far southwest. It begins like a distant bonfire, but very rapidly it becomes brighter and brighter. It looks remarkably like a sunrise. Some of your crew fall to their knees, and others duck behind cover to shield their eyes. Dawn machine waking. Okay, and so this right here is an event that we've already had. I'll look around me, but not directly at the light. All the colors rise in the docks, the water, the crystal veins in the roof. The Untersee is a rich, grassy emerald. The faces of your crew flash clear and strong. You have seen nothing like it since you left the surface. This place, it is utterly wrong. The light fades suddenly. Men and women cry out, curse, and one weeps. That's all for now. You've gained 5 terror, but you also get a memory of distant shores. Our terror is a little bit high. Okay, and so we can't do anything else here until we make port again. It's okay. We got all of our random spying and everything else done while we were here. Let's go ahead and we're going to cut north for Port Palmerston, I guess. And once we get there, I'm thinking we'll be in decent shape to cut to the left, maybe grab some freebie fuel up by Withers, maybe some cheap fuel, anyways, or at least restock somewhere. Cow or Dow's Ite. I've never heard that word before, Ite, but I feel like that's a word that I should know. Being a geologist, Ite. I don't know. What is that? It sounds like an interesting... I like single-syllable words, although words and syllables like that tend to peak out your audio levels. So if I'm like, Ite, you may hear some crispiness. It depends how hard you put, like, in the back of your throat. There's kind of like a guttural... I think it's called a glottal stop, like a Ite. Like, there will be like a little... It's hard to explain. Like when you say, uh-oh, that's a glottal stop. It sounds like there would be one right there, and sometimes glottal stops can cause crazy things to happen. Hopefully we don't max out our terror on the way back. I don't think that we will. I'll have to follow the coast pretty carefully once we head back down to the south, but we should be okay. He said not quite sure if you actually would be okay. We'll go to Port Palmerston. We'll check in with the demon again, see what's going on over here. It's important to note that every time you go to port, like, different things happen. We'll go up to the crater, and we'll visit the Wistful Deviless again. Look down and see Port Palmerston like a toy. You've come far. There we go. The road to the crater ends at a brass gate in the center, or the crater wall. Beside it stands an oddly charming little cottage. Oh, we've already done that. The Armillaria Tea. Let's see. She asked if we had a case of souls. She's not going to eat them. She doesn't eat them, actually. I'm not clear how the story got around. I told you I miss London. I miss hell. I like a keepsake, and all souls are ours, you know, by right. Or you could just lend me yours. She bites her lip and looks into your eyes. I'll keep it safe, much safer than at Z. If you drown, it'll be here with me for always. Mortals do drown, so she places a slender, sallow hand on your wrist. Through your cuff, it's warm as a stone in the sun. It won't hurt at all. I don't know if I want to surrender my soul. I'm gonna go with perhaps not. We'll go back once we have a crate of souls. We'll come back. Explore the island. And we've got... we've had this before. And so we got attacked by Blemigans. And we can observe the colony, or we can blast them. Let's blast them, because we have a higher chance. We gained 15 echoes, and we stormed the beach as we did before in our previous playthrough, and we annihilated as many Blemigans as we could, and we won. And we got 15 echoes from Purple Dye. And so we can also chat with the folk about Brimstone Convention. We got our port report, and it's time to head west. Let's get out of here. Since we're good on supplies, I'm going to avoid these guys. And we're going to go up and around Ambrose Point. We've got a nice little jump over to the Chapel of Lights, but if we time it right, we should be able to get rid of maximum hunger by the time that we get there, which will be nice. So let's roll out and see if we can make that happen, because I am the captain. And I felt like making something rhyme. I could go upwards to that lamp right there, but I'm not going to. Let's continue down to the south until we hit this one over here. And we'll just kind of slingshot off. We may not make it without taking a terror, but we'll try. And of course, this is all subject to us avoiding the unrelenting gaze of whatever those are. They look very violent. They've got guns all over them, so I'm getting the feeling that they're destroyers of some kind. Because they've got 4 guns from what I can count. We've only got 2 guns. And that leads me to believe that we probably wouldn't stand the largest chance against them. Come on, make it to the buoy. Alright. Oh, almost ran aground. That was close. It doesn't hurt you that much, by the way, if you run aground. It hurts, but it doesn't hurt as bad as you would expect. It only does like 1 or 2 damage to the hull. If you've got the extra supplies, you can just repair in combat. It's the easier way to get yourself repaired. I don't think you get much out of the combat one, though. I don't think you get like 25 or anything. So here we are at the Chapel of Lights to get rid of our maximum hunger. We'll gather the intelligence, and we'll eat to get ourselves 48 hunger loss. We timed that just perfectly. We'll launch out from here. Continue west, maybe finding ourselves a Lifeberg or two along the way, because we are back in Lifeberg territory, although our fuel is looking a little bit low. It's not looking low, but it's on the edge of low. It's not quite there yet. I suppose I don't really want to do what I'm doing right now. Let's go back to shore, and I'm going to see if I can maybe use this lamp right here to take some of the edge off the terror growth. Are we going to make it? We did. Good. I mean, it's still not going to help us that much because we've got to go a long ways off in this direction, but it maybe saved us 2 or 3 terror, which in cases like these, that 2 or 3 terror that you save each time you jump to a buoy is better than taking that 2 and 3 terror. I mean, you jump in between 15 locations getting 2 terror, 3 terror each time, and you've got a big problem on your hands, whereas if you avoid that, you know, about half of the time, that's 21 less terror that you have to deal with, saving yourself money in the long haul. So go back to Withers. Let me stay within range of port here. We do have something waiting for us back at port. We have a number of things that we're going to be taking back to the Port Authority. We're going to make about 450 echoes when we get back there. It's going to be fairly impressive. But we're going to hit Withers first, and then on our way south, we'll keep an eye out for any of the enemies that we want to get rid of. And I may actually, I don't know, I may actually finish up this episode killing Lifebergs, and then I'll farm them in my own time as well, because I do want to get a new ship. That's the one thing that we've never done. We'll go to the House of the Question. We've got Watchful Curio, apparently, but we have Stone's Attention, I think, is what we do have. Up in here somewhere. Oh, maybe we don't have the Watchful Curio, never mind. We'll go back to the House of Question, and we'll ask about the Drowned Man for 100 echoes. The Drowned Man's brothers, I, and sisters gave him knives and lacquer, although we have no lacquer. I think it's probably pronounced lacquer, only snow. Snow comes from the north, lacquer comes from pain. We have it a little bit easier. We gained a fragment, but we lost 100 echoes for that. Okay, so apparently we only need to use this function like when we're cursed by the gods or something. We'll explore the town a bit. And we have fisherfolk, sailors. Oh, we got riddles again. This is one of those things that you could be super save scummy about if you really wanted to, with like the higher echo costs, and you could just gamble your way to victory. I'm not going to do them because there's not anything that really benefits from it. Let's gather intelligence. And then we'll head back. Let's check the shops for anything that we can sell here. They've got fuel for Z stories. Oh, you can get Mooter Salt for Z stories, so maybe that's the better... It's still a trade-up, though, because you get 10 for a Z story at the museum. So if you trade 5 Z stories for a Mooter Salt is worth 50. That's actually a straight trade. That's not even... I mean, unless you can sell Mooter Salt for more somewhere other than London, but I think that's a straight trade again. It's one of those cases again where... I just don't know. It's one of those cases again where they've got like an exact trade rate that's perfect, where it's like you get 50 for it no matter where you go. Ah, well. Let's go ahead and we'll leave Wither. We'll leave it to rot in the snow, or the lacra, as they put it. I suppose that's like the solidified remnant of suffering. That's awful. That sounds really unpleasant. I'll be like, oh no, I got some suffering on my shoulder. Let me get that off for you. Ugh. And then down here, I suppose we can hang out for a bit and see if there's any Lifebergs dallying around. I don't see any. We'll turn some donuts. Yeah! Turn them tight ones. Doors open. A boat just going in circles with all the doors open. People hollering out the window like, yay! Making all kinds of noise. That was the most half-hearted yee I've ever done because I was worried it was going to blow out my microphone. I mean, if I'm trying to do the bay service, that is not how you yee. I mean, here in the bay we yee. People that aren't from the bay won't know about yeeing. But yeeing is a thing, and we do it frequently. It's something you do when you're excited or you're trying to draw attention to yourself. You just be like, yay! It's what we do here. It's a thing. I don't know. The Bay Area has lots of weird, like, fads and trends and slang. I thought about doing, actually, I really thought about doing a voice log or a video chat about Bay Area slang. Did he just hit me with something? What did he just do? He did something. I saw him do something. What was that ability that he did right there? Or is it just flashing really fast? Smell fear. What does smell fear do? I think it makes our illumination go up or something. I don't actually think it's risky. Let's go ahead and flare him up and then we'll flensing him. There we go. Yeah, I think it just raises our illumination because he's tracking us down. Doesn't matter because he's about to get flensed like a punk. Get flensed, Lifeberg. You don't want none. Anyways, I thought about doing a video log on Bay Area slang because we have really weird slang around here. Especially if you're up from like Vallejo or like Richmond. Actually, Vallejo invents most of it and then it bleeds on into Oakland and... I mean, Oakland does its own... I guess I can't say that. But Vallejo... Oh, we got one cask of mushroom wine. Hooray, that was totally worth the effort. Yay. Sometimes you get... Basically, you can get just about anything in just about any quantity from Lifebergs under 5. And so sometimes you get really good stuff, and sometimes you just get craptastic rolls. I'm not seeing any more of them down here. But our fuel is looking a little iffy. You can get 10 fuel from a Lifeberg if you get lucky, and you need it badly enough. I've only seen that happen once, though. It's kind of like getting the weird treasures that give you 1,000 echoes. I've only seen that once, too. Well, I don't see any of them down here. Let me check the time. I don't want to bore you guys with too much Lifeberg hunting. We got a couple minutes left. I think I'm just going to hunt Lifebergs because I don't want to go back to port empty-handed. And right now, we're only making a little bit of money. We've been at sea for so long that I feel like we deserve a little bit better. So if we can go back in with a couple more curios or like relics or heirlooms or anything like that, that'll earn us a nice little... grip of change, I think that would be pretty awesome. Stop the boat and let the Lifeberg roll up on us. Sometimes the Lifeberg gets cocky. He's like, oh, this is the slowest prey I've ever chased. But little does he know we have the harpoons at the ready to take him out. Give him that daka right upside the head. Or wherever the head. I don't even know if this thing has heads. It's like motorized instinct. It's like a jellyfish. It's just sort of there. I could use evasion. It looks like Flee isn't based on anything. The rest of it's based on... I do notice that our flares have gotten much better since I upgraded my mirrors by about 10. Our flares have gotten way better, so this is going to take far less time to get done in reducing us from 3 flares down to 2 whenever we want to do this. Let's get 4 more evasions in. I'm just going to let those run. That's going to eat up a good another 20 seconds or so. And that'll allow us to get well outside their range. We'll get 2 flares going on the back end of that. We should be able to sit pretty comfortably at 90 yards and just start this thing off, and then a couple of flensing attacks will be good. Especially since Smell Fear doesn't lower our distance. Oh, it does lower our distance. It's kind of like a multi-purpose ability then. So why would they use that instead of Seek? It seems like they do the exact same thing. That almost put me up to 100. Could have done the Devastating Salvo, but it does less damage than the flensing attack. You should always go with flensing if you're up against a sea monster. Think of it like Moby Dick. You're fighting like a giant sea monster. Harpoons are like the thing. You want to be Ahab. You want to be that guy. Got another Z story. We got Bolts of Spider Silk. Not the best thing that could have dropped, and we only got 1. So, I think I'll probably... God, I don't know. Let's just continue the hunt, I guess. I don't know. I was checking the time, and really, I don't feel like leaving this point. It just means I have to sail back up here on my own time. Actually, we'll go to London. I take it back. I take it back. If we see any Lifebergs going down the coast, we'll kill them. But we'll just go back to London. I'm indecisive right now. I can't decide what I want to do. We don't really have enough goods to go back to London as we are right now. I mean, we'll make a little bit of money. We'll probably make 800, 900 echoes, but I'd like to make a little bit more. Just based on where our terror is at, we're going to have to burn a big chunk of that just getting our terror back down. We're going to gain Nightmare Strength anyways. That doesn't worry me that much because we're a Hearts character, so we should be able to resist it. But... I took the tattoo, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned this, but we got that tattoo quest when I went back to London a couple episodes ago. I took it for irons. In case you were wondering. I took the -25 and then the +2 to irons. It's not much, but it's something. We'll continue to flee. And then these are going to be our last jaunt of fleeing, and so we'll throw the flares out. Very, very easy to kill most of the Z monsters. It's the other ships that you have to be worried about, because they can shoot you from any range, and so it becomes very, very hazardous to your health when you're trying to evade. I mean, evade might work. Seek that takes 8 seconds. I mean, you might be able to do it. Squeeze it in every now and again. Keep yourself low on illumination, but I just don't know. We'll go with flensing attacks now because we've only got a little bit of time before this monster closes the gap with us. Flensing attack number 1, it was weak. It only did 41 damage. Anything under 50 is bad for a flensing attack. That one was a 60, or no, a 52, I'm sorry. I could do math. And there we go. So now the life berg has fallen, or I hope it floats because then we get treasure out of it. If it sinks, we never get anything. Got another Z story. And we got 5 supplies, a cache of... Okay, so we got the peaches again. That's cool. I mean, that's free terror reduction, so that's never something to scoff at. Anytime you can lower your terror is a good thing. Let's head back to London now. It's time. We'll go back home. We'll see how much money we make, and that'll be that. I took a port report off screen on one of the locations that we were at. I did want to bring that up as well. I think it was Geiter's Morn. When I landed there, I took the port report, and it gave us another one of the intriguing infos or whatever, or another one of the... like one of the spy reports that we collect for the Admiralty. I think it was a special event or something. We got the port report and it gave us like one of the little spy documents that's worth 150. So we should be coming into some decent money when we get back to port. It's just, you know, it's a long process when you play this game. Getting money is very, very difficult in this game. It takes either a lot of grinding or a lot of time, either or. Neither of which I'm especially obliged to spend a lot of time working on. The Tomb Colony, we'll go ahead and explore Vetterblight for events. We got the Carmine Chapel. And so a little chapel stands alone. You poke your head through the door. The walls are deep red, just this side of scarlet. A ruby-tinted window at the back glows with a steady light. I think we've been here. Let's search the place. We failed with an 88%? Damn. I cannot get this. I get this event so much, and I search it every time, and I always fail. There's an altar, a block of basalt, there are pews, a pulpit, no Bibles, no hymn book, and the stained glass window is red of cochineal. Or cochineal, I guess is the right way to say that. Because coquina... For those of you that don't know, coquina is like the stone that forms when little calcium carbonate critters, they all get melted together over time at the bottom of the sea. And then when it comes up to the surface, it's this very chunky, bony looking rock. It's actually got like little chunks of mollusks sticking out of it and whatever. And so it's cochineal. It means it's a textural word. It means that it's got kind of like a bony, protruding texture. Now that I read it, I was like, wait, I know what coquina is. Not to be confused with cocaína, which is the Spanish word for cocaine. Cocaína pura. Yep. Different words, very, very similar. We're going to take the long way around because our horror is really, really high right now. I could farm bats for a little while and get like a -1, -2 terror from them for each one that I kill, but killing like 5 groups of bats will take forever, and that's only like 10 terror, so That's what I say about that. A very, very half-hearted I'm glad we can outrun the bats right now, actually, because I get tired of fighting them. Like, sometimes you need supplies and you need to fight the bats, but when you drive slowly, it just sucks having to fight bats like every 5 minutes. Farming those ships is a little bit risky right there. If you really are hard up for cash, it was more worthwhile. I think they over-nerfed it. They should have left it at 100. I do agree that 150 echoes was too much for the ships. I think they should have left it at 100. 50 is almost not worth the effort, because if you take one shot, it's going to cost you more to repair your ship than it is just to get anything done. I mean, you're only going to make like a 10 echo profit off the ships, so it's not even worth it. I tend to avoid them now, is what I mean to say. Let's see how much money we can make off all of this. I'm willing to bet it's going to be quite a bit. We'll drop down into port, and everything's going to be coming from the Admiralty today. So we have Nightmare Strength 2. The Blind Bruiser would like a word. Okay, so he's got a job for us. That's going to go to Khan's Heart. That's fine because we've got... I mean, it makes for a boring next episode. I may actually re-roll that. I mean, when I restart the game, it's going to make me re-roll that anyways because I'm about to end the episode, so we'll see what else we get. But Khan's Heart is what we have for now. If in the next episode it's a different location, it's because I retook the quest because it's not going to save anything we do here at port. So let's go here. We'll turn in these. We turned in that. We've got another one. There's 150. We can turn in moves in the Great Game for another 150. Oh, they nerfed that too. Damn, they're nerfing everything in this game. They need to stop doing that. That really, like, every time there's a way you can make money in this game, they nerf it. And so it's back down to 50 echoes, which means that it's not even worth the effort anymore. I mean, God, I don't know why the developers are so keen on making this game just a giant grind, but that seems to be really what they're trying to point the game towards. Like, every time you find something that's relatively grindable or that you can make some money, they nerf it, and then you have to go grind something that's even less pleasurable. And so basically all the random events in this game that give you a little infusion of cash, they just keep nerfing. Like, damn, you need to stop doing that. Like, I realize you're used to playing a browser game where you're supposed to slow people's progress down, but this is a video game. The mindset is different. the progression should never be nerfed. It should be steady. And so my complaints there out of the way. I don't know why they keep nerfing stuff. That's really, they're nerfing things that don't need to be nerfed, and they're leaving things alone that do need to be nerfed, basically. Like, basically they need to nerf the enemy's guns, and they need to leave the money making alone. Because as of right now, any of the ships that are not your ship, they get one-shotted by everything. It's just like, welp. Let me fight. Nobody fights any ships in this game because you get one-shotted by them every time. No matter how much you try and get rid of your illumination, they can outrun you with flares. I mean, I don't know. Not happy with the fact that they nerfed that. I was expecting a bit more echoes. Let's turn in our port reports. We'll get rid of all of those. So Guiders Morn's going to give us 30. Palmerston's going to give us 40. Port Cecil's going to give us 30. Withers 20. Humane will get 5. Godfall will get 30. Polythreme is another 40. Pigmote will get 10. And then the Chapel of Lights will get like 20-ish. So we're sitting at 1900 right now. We got a decent amount of cash. I was hoping we'd be at like 2K, but after we sell off everything that's been dropping from... Man, we didn't get that much. We kind of actually had a bad run right there. We've got that much parabola linen. I guess we'll just sell it here because I don't think we're going to be selling anywhere else anyways, and I'd like to clear out my hold. I think that's where I'm going to break off the episode. My name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me here at the Nerd Castle for another episode of Sunless Sea. The little nerfs that they keep inserting aside. It is a good game. It is fun. They are tinkering with things, but I think they're over-tinkering and making the game a little bit overly grindy. Like, I definitely think within the 1 week that the game has been released, it is far more grindy now than it was a week ago. And they just keep making it more so grindy. And so until they implement ways to actually make money, the trade routes are worthless. You don't make any money from trade routes. Running wine is the only way to do anything. And even that is grindy and tedious. I mean, you just go back and forth between 2 locations for hours. And so for right now, you're basically left to farming Lifebergs or running wine until they nerf both of those. And so who knows? Who even knows anymore? I fully expect to come back and see that the wine running is nerfed in the next couple days. I would guess that with how heavy-handed they're being about nerfing things, they'll probably nerf that next, and they may nerf the Lifebergs as well, since those are the only 2 ways so far I found to make money outside of other ways. So anyways, I'll see you all in the next episode. Take care out there, everybody, and hi-do.